9 o'clock.
on me.
Sorry about that.
Everybody ready? Go ahead and get started. I know a lot of people will be plowing in as they come, I guess. Up first today we have Sensei ERWIN. He's gonna, whatever you feel to teach, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. I have no idea what I'm going to show.
Attack him. No.
Everybody jump in. I guess everybody's got different backgrounds. Wait, should we bow or I don't know? All right. So over the last few years I've become very informal because the way that I'm training. But I guess let's start off formal. And in my style, we're from kneeling, so let's go ahead and do that. If you guys don't know me, I'm ERWIN RICAFORT. I live in Nashville. I've been in martial arts for, I counted it this morning, 42 years. I started when I was 17. I'm ranked in Taekwondo, Shotokan, Aikido, Katori Shinto-ryu, and Daitoryu, and then I dabble in other stuff. I love firearms, so I do firearm training and knife training. Although those are not like, you know, ranked martial arts, but I still count it as a martial arts because it has to do with combat. And lately I've been kind of delving into more the internal aspects of conflict resolution, for lack of a better word. So that's really where what I've been working on for myself. Everybody knows all the physical parts, how to throw somebody, how to punch somebody, but I've been working on just trying to how to get more strength out of any technique that you come from. It doesn't matter what style of martial arts you are. This is like if you say, hey, I have a recipe for macaroni and cheese, and I say, hey, add maybe a little of this, and then you're like, oh, that tastes better. That's really what I'm working on for myself, and then maybe I can impart that to you guys. Maybe I'll lecture a little bit so you can get an idea of what I've been working on and what I'd like to kind of impart on everybody. Let's stand up first, please. So generating power, and I hate using this word, that key power or whatever, or internal power. It just connotes a lot of mystical stuff that's really, this is not mystical. But generating power there's going to be 3 sources for generating power. One is it's 6 directions, where if you think about your posture and that you're pulling up and down at the same time. If you guys kind of just stand in Shizentai, and then think about your spine stretching up and down at the same time. Make sure you feel the floor, and then left and right at the same time. Go ahead and do this, right? And then also forward and back at the same time. And then you should feel balance, like the weight is on your feet, right? So when you start to work with people or have an opponent, the weight of their force is on your feet. So essentially, they're fighting the ground. They're not. Okay, don't lean. That. Stay there. You feel the transfer of my energy, of my fist into the feet. See how your toes are leaning back? Roll your pelvis forward just a little. That. Something like that, right? Okay, so this is one way to generate power, right? Another way to generate power, and we're for my instructors, they call it misogi. Misogi is also associated with the hand wringing and sitting underneath the waterfall. But misogi is really where it's a relaxed state, but it's not passive. It's where so the way my instructor describes it, it's like your flesh is falling off your bones, but your bones hold up everything. So bones are the structure underneath the flesh that's just dropping. Okay, and then the final way for generating power, they call it macrocosmic orbit. It's not macro, it's macro on the outside of your skin, right? So that the connection in your body is transferred through the fascia, and you recruit your fascia and other groups of muscle to do the work. So it looks like, from the outside, it looks like you're not doing much, but to the other guy, it's powerful because they feel more of your mass. Basically, you're recruiting more of your mass to do the work versus a little bit of your mass to do the work. There's microcosmic orbit, which is more internal, like managing the organs. For example, part of pulling silk, the first part that I was talking about, 6 directions, part of that includes compressing your organs, breathing so that your diaphragm pushes on the organ and your shoot, I'm blanking out. Your butthole, basically the muscles that are around your sphincter.
The perineum.
Perineum. Sorry, thanks, Doc. I took gross anatomy, but it's been a while. Your perineum, and you use that to compress your organs too, right? And then that's all part of the creating internal power, and you're doing it while you're moving. So that's the hard part. So a lot of this, actually, once you learn how to control your body, becomes part of your movement in your martial arts, and starts to generate power. So I'm going to use you because you're the closest and you're big and you're young. So just stand in front of me. So this is just a simple demonstration. So if I punch, like this doesn't hurt. If I punch and I use my muscles, look, he can take that, right? But this is how I learned karate when I'm in college. You rotate the hip and then you drive the leg. All right, so I'm going to do that. But he can take that, but it's not connected to my whole body, right? So if I connect all the other stuff, that becomes different because I'm actually reaching. And I know you've heard this cliche, from the ground to the top, all right? But if I do it wrong, he can brace against it. If I do it right, he cannot. You feel that? It's different, and there's no power. I mean, there's no
Strength. Felt like it was.
Yeah. You can give it direction. Can you feel that?
Yes.
Right. So it depends on how you know how to control the inside. Okay. And then so even we've got our arm bars. We call this nikyo. I don't know what. Where this is a twist, but he can fight this. Right. So I'm twisting. And if I'm physically bigger, I can do this with muscle. But that is done with like
Come on, you're
whole
strong.
body.
You can resist.
So all this the generating power that I was talking about earlier. First 6 directions, and you start to feel this, right? I pull up, I pull down, left and right, and I project forward. Here's my initial connection, and I know you guys can't see it, but he can feel that initial connection. And then misogi starts to drop, right? And then there's also other stuff with the when I'm macrocosmic orbit. This skin is, or the skin, the fascia. I'm connecting my fascia with his, and I gather all of this, and I've added this too. There's a I don't know how to describe it. There's a spread of power here, so everything's just being split apart. And he was trying to fight it, and then I just redirected it. So this is this is what makes some of the stuff that we do in Aikido look fake, but you can kind of feel the strength in it, right? Even in a punch. Now, Aikido they don't punch. I don't know why. But that's my complaint, and I'm an Aikido class, so I get to say a lot. And their punches are, I've seen techniques where they go like this, and they'll hold the fist out there so that you can do a technique. I'm like, no, that doesn't cut it, right? And but I understand the practice, right? But even though they're studying Aikido, the way of Aiki, they're not doing it, and they don't know how to transfer it to any of the other stuff that they do. So, what I'd like to do is let's go through technique first, because we can learn the Aiki stuff through technique, and then we'll talk about how to incorporate your body. So, can I borrow you one here? So, 2 hands, just, no, I grab my wrist, right? So we'll start from grabbing, because this is all right, so strong. All right, so then, here, when you're training with your partner, if your partner can't do it, and what's your name, I'm sorry? JD. JD, if you're in JD's position, be a little lenient so your partner can learn, because we're just trying to learn, right? So, so there's a learning curve, but if they can't do it, back off just a little so that they can do it properly, right? So if we're here and he's trying to struggle to hold me down here, what I'd like to do is to exercise this. We start to spiral, and I start to step out. So this is your jiu-jitsu part, right? The internal stuff is this, but the jiu-jitsu part is this. You gotta learn how to move your body. So here, and then okay? Can you see what's happening? So I'm pulling silk 6 directions. I'm up, down. Can you feel that? And I'm in without pushing. Like if he lets go ahead and let go. I should still be standing here, right? Again, grab again, and then you feel that as soon as you grab, right? Okay. So I feel the weight of his body on my feet, and my hands are somewhat neutral. So I start to project forward. Here's a. Can you let go? I'm spiraling like this. This is very kung fu looking, right? So this is where I'm starting to lean towards Chinese teachings. Well, my background is Japanese, right? But to me, this is where you'll see Wing Chun move like this. You see the Tai Chi folks move like this, right? So basically, I'm splitting his energy. One energy goes down, one energy goes up. And then, of course, I'm using body movement to be able to throw him. I step off the line, and my upper hand is high. I'm not pushing, I'm raising. And then I step behind him. He falls because of gravity, not because I'm throwing him. Does that make sense? So, it's gravity's fault. It's like me pushing a boulder downhill. If a boulder's already on the hill and I just go like that, it doesn't take much effort. If I go the other direction, it's going to take a lot.
I think he's calling you a boulder now.
Right. Okay, so pair up with a partner. So we call this Tenshinage, heaven, earth, throw, because one is going down, one is going up, and then get behind your partner and throw. Right? Go ahead and partner up and try that.
Are you projecting your energy through him as a flow? How are you projecting your energy out?
So
Don't go easy on them.
It's literally this. When you see inside, are you imagining your part that actually going through your head? Or are you, I don't understand what you mean by your inside projection. Because I know some of the people I've talked to actually imagine the energy flowing through the arm and flowing out. So projecting your heart into that.
it's not focused to the arm. It's general. Something like a radio signal, right? I'm thinking here. I want to over there with a radio signal. So he's behind you. The whole thing. It's on the other side too.
Start in your heart rate generating here, and then you're just generating energy out. Okay.
In general, like they should. Somebody behind you.
They're falling to the floor, open your hands on.
Yeah, so I've never heard it like this. Okay. I've always seen it as directional flow, so that's easier.
Yeah. So can I interrupt real quick? Can I borrow you? Well, say your question. You have a question.
I was asking because I've seen people actually generate power and energy, and actually they envision it flowing through their hands, how their energy would flow. And so that's what I was asking, if he's actually projecting it through his body, through his hands, and flow of energy, as like, I noticed you pointing. A lot of people would point as they project their energy out.
It's not really.
So that's what I was asking.
I'm not projecting in one particular direction. It's not like a laser beam where it starts at one end and goes to the other. It's more like a radio signal that it's all out, like an atomic bomb, right? So when we're doing this exercise, if I push with my hands, he knows where to focus on that, and he knows where to dodge that. That's why I say if I ever get into a weapons fight, I'd rather face a pistol than at close range than a knife, because a pistol, I know just stay out of the tip, but that knife is going to come around and it's going to be fast and it'd be harder to dodge. But so this is like pistol. All he has to do is affect the direction that it's going in, and he can stop it. But if I start to project out towards the back, you feel the difference?
Mm-hmm.
I am now going out my back, and it's hard to do. But if I attach a person behind me, and I'm not at that level yet, admittedly, if I attach a person behind me, I should affect him too. So that's why you'll see these videos where they have multiple people grabbing somebody, and the guy behind starts to fall also. That's what this is. This is all from the back, right? I mean, it's all, I should say it's all from the back. It's all one thing.
Yeah.
It's one big expansion, right? And so this is, so even, we think of this as he's attacking and I'm defending. I can also attack. I can do this. I can do this type of movement. Why is it that I can hold that? Right? That type of movement. This is not, I'm gonna do it differently. This is not here. This is, you can feel that, and you can resist that, right? But with my whole body, this is now whole body, and that's a different spin, and it looks fake. But basically, I've got my whole body on top of him versus just a part of the arm. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you're projecting energy all around
It's
instead
all
of
around.
actually just through your arms.
And it starts here in your hara, and I think it's biomechanical, right? This compression of the organs inside makes you denser and heavier. And then I think of it as whatever motion I feel from my opponent as going down to the ground, and so he has to fight the earth. I don't. I just have to be the conduit for him to fight the earth. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So I'll go around and just kind of see how everybody's doing here. All right, how are you?
Sorry, I was going to tell you off of the
How do I make this technique work? Trying to think of how to project your energy. Like he's
See, here, doing this, and then when you step with this thing here, like this,
so
and then, that's all you're doing. You're not pushing, you just,
well, I know the move, but the way I learned is you're actually imagining your energy going through your arm, flowing out, trying to project your energy inside.
you ever heard of the spear? You can project a spear like this. It's an oar. We used to work on this. Mine was about this big. People couldn't believe it. And some people were this big.
A little bit of push
It comes from your body.
changes
You
my
can feel it.
So that's what you're doing inside your
Yeah.
It's just like you try to suffer.
You're not trying to do here.
And that's easy.
Now, when you step behind me,
Well, your muscle's going this way. You're trying to fire it up.
you're not pushing.
Yeah. So I did feel, when I was trying to use my energy, I actually did feel it easier, but more balanced.
You still got to do the whole, yeah, but give it a little bit of a push, because I'm probably trying to hold some back. Now, yeah, that's it. Now you run that across. Hold on to your wrist.
So those little bits create openings for you to, we move. Boom!
The way I learned it, there you go.
They were showing us now, it's a heaven earth throw when you were here. Same thing.
That's, whenever you do a statue,
Yeah. That's
literally what you're doing.
That's what Michael was saying, you know, you're supposed to block the tempo.
Saturday Night Live.
Because you stop your energy when you close your fist? Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen one.
You see him doing this and not this.
Yes.
And then him doing this.
Yeah.
That translates into
Yeah.
right?
You know, man, these are all, he's not gonna do it.
But I
Yeah.
do that, I lost the grip, but I do that, then I go for
So you're creating your energy flow.
It's still working, it's still doing,
Yeah.
but the other hand is not.
Well, there's a trick here.
Still
So
doing
how do you
that. This one's
As
just
I
like,
come in, do this step.
so that's why I was
That's
saying
what I was
earlier,
really, I'm like,
energy has to
I've
go
never heard
all
that,
wrong.
so.
Yeah.
It's like taking your
It's
stomach,
all at
your
one
butt
time,
extremities.
whether I have one connection or not. And that's why it's strong. That's why you can do this with a punch. I'm also,
So as you come in, as you do a step,
this is not,
and you point this down, and then you bring this up and out as you're inside.
I still do all the stuff that I was just talking about.
So, do the step first.
Makes sense? It's different.
No, no.
I'm
Throw it out.
up
Which one I do?
and down, and then,
So as,
and out,
don't let
and then I do my soda, I relax, let everything drop to the ground, and that's it. Now imagine if I threw my weight, it would feel a little bit.
but it's stronger because I'm here versus.
Yeah, we did a session,
As you
half
said,
moon, where you had to pull in energy, half moon stance, pull it up, it's like right in your stomach, and you actually pull in your energy, and you're sinking into your part of
Somebody,
So, I've done that, but it's still, I feel the energy here, but I've never projected it.
you're still doing
That's the
that.
other thing, is like, okay, I can feel the energy, and I can imagine it go through the hands, because it's flowing, just like you're actually projecting.
I'm not,
So that's what I'm
Just
trying to
think
think
of
of.
down.
I guess you envision
It's not like
it, just practice that, pulling the energy in and
double front,
projecting.
you know, in Star Wars, right? But it's like, turn on.
On the snake, yeah, now turn it. And you're doing that without step.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, so right here, you actually turn your hand over.
You know what?
Not a lot,
You can't see it.
it's a thrill. Don't like me,
Put your,
but like, you'll notice it goes real hard for me to hold. Perkins? Yeah, you want to spread.
that, that.
You want the, you want the spread. Even if, like, I'm not gonna extend this story, I don't have to.
It's breaking the board on the bottom, so leaving the rest.
But
energy projection. Okay.
And as always, we tell
Projected. Project and
so
cheese through everything.
So to do that, do you imagine like you just focus on that point there where you want the chi to be there? How do you imagine?
because I use other muscle groups in here to make that rotation. Focus.
Oh, wow.
There's other concepts.
have talked about that. Yeah, but it's spiral, and it doesn't matter which direction. Like sometimes it likes this way.
So, when you, did you project your energy into the point?
But as long as that spiral is there, so if you're talking about lift, I screw my legs together.
So how do you practice that?
Don't exceed your own overall.
That's what I was trying to figure out. How do you practice that?
As it comes up,
Yes, yes.
It looks like I'm just going out and see how it's going, but it's not.
So this is
extend your arm all the way out.
I don't know about those, but if it's I know I get this.
You really got that.
And
Slam me on my back of my head.
So, when you're doing that, are you just pulling the energy up through your feet and imagine it going through your body with your hand? Now that makes more sense, but what he was talking about is pulling energy and projecting it radiant. So how do you project, how do you train to that?
So this is literally it. Bring it more across from your jaw.
So I make this connection, feel your body. Then I sort of passive about it.
Yep.
But actually, you go inside.
So you're pulling my energy into you? So how do you?
I'm just trying not to move my feet, because
And then from here,
you gotta step behind.
So how do you do that? How do you pull the right energy?
You gotta move me first.
You don't want the wrist wrap.
So what are you focusing on when you're pulling that energy out? Are you actually going to
You're actually
Pull
gonna,
you back up.
you're wanting to,
Yeah, I wanted to.
you're wanting this.
that was the
I'm a stronger opponent, I'm trying to resist. Now watch what she does, because I'm probably tied.
Yeah.
Probably better.
You got your step. So does that help pull the energy out, or does it just actually help direct?
She's doing good.
It feels like my energy's not there.
You have to get a surgery?
Okay, so you break the energy flow there, which makes me weak. Okay.
So it doesn't matter if
Okay.
even if it punches off, right? And then I can't land it, I'm still affecting your body.
Yeah, and you took my weapon offline.
Hey, does anybody have?
I've done that, and I know how that works. It's just I've never actually been able to project my energy onto someone else and take
Anybody have
this.
trouble with what's going on?
That's what
You wanna feel it?
I just got radiate onto someone else. That's why I've never done it. And so that makes more sense than how to actually take an ingredient out there. So when I'm doing theirs, so
We do it quickly and then speeds it up.
that's making more sense. I can see that, how to stop the flow. So when you're
And the way that this is operated is,
I understand. So when you're doing that, are you actually thinking physically trying to pressure So we do half moon. So
start out my strike, I reach down to the ground, expand left and right, expand this one, and now I'm more, and I'm So now I'm more, if I relax my body such that, like, if you think about the skin falling off your bones, right? So now I can do it. Because now the pressure is kind of taken off.
Can either make everything worse.
The rest of my arms, I should say. And now I can start doing it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I was showing over there with my toe. I was showing over there. It doesn't have to be just here. I can also grab this. I want to move.
Come on, Chris.
I expand.
Lock everything. Okay.
Stuff. So this is down your feet down. It's not hands. It's really body.
Right. I can feel it.
So that's why I was
Builds up.
I did a heavier You're actually more
How do I
press everything chin up.
Okay, so maybe I need to
So just, and you know, when I did that,
So, let's take a quick break, and let me lecture a little bit more. How are you?
Yes, sir.
So, what's your name?
Russell.
Russell was asking, how do we project this now? So, I'm adjusting what I'm trying to teach because I didn't know what level and what interest people would be wanting to learn this. But one way to really, a core to start to study this is trying to work on 6 directions. So remember we talked about 3 ways to project power. 6 directions, Misogi, and macrocosmic orbit. So with 6 directions, let me just demonstrate on JD, and then you guys work with each other, right? So remember earlier in the exercise we were doing this. Go ahead and do that. Reach out, reach through your fingertips, almost like you're pushing out on one side and pushing out on the other side. But within this is one's going that way, one's going that way. Within that. You understand what I'm getting at? Same thing going up and down, and the same thing going left and right. So as I apply pressure here, you need to concentrate on pulling. By the way, keep your chin lined up with the spine and a little bit tucked, right? And as I apply pressure here, the exercise is for him to learn how to redirect that into the ground while stretching everything. What I really think happens is the force is dissipated by the fascia as you stretch it. Like this is like a rubber band, and then the force is coming in, and the rubber band expands, and it dissipates that force. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this is an exercise, and I'm hoping to try to answer your question. As I start to apply pressure, if it's too much, back off a little bit so he knows how to transition that. And then over time, you'll do this in real time, right? So I think you're doing really well. There's other concepts in here, opening, closing, and rotation that I haven't really touched on, but he's kind of doing it naturally. He's kind of closing in a little bit. His spine is kind of collapsing a little bit, where the pelvis is rotating a little forward. He's kind of doing it naturally because as I increase pressure, he's feeling where to adjust it. Stretch, 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 stretch. That's even stronger, right? Oh, you're coming off your toes a little bit, and then start to really relax. Just relax and let this weight go on your feet. Okay? So that feels pretty good. Do this with each other. 'Cause look, he's got pretty good. He's taking it. Now, turn it off. Right? Okay. So
It's hard to turn off and on.
at first, when you're learning this, it becomes difficult and it's kind of tiring. But after a while, you keep doing it enough, and you do the solo exercise. You do this at home watching TV, and then your spouse is going to go, "What are you doing?" So, "Solo 6 directions." Hey, you tell? And then you start to do this in motion. You're still doing this. See, we all seen this exercise, but oh yeah, I'm doing martial arts. But no, now start to concentrate on the inside, doing this. So as I expand, this contract. And then as I open up like that, maybe I work on opening instead of closing. So now you're using the duality of that, of the yin yang, right? Open and close. When one closes, one opens. Sorry, it kind of gets a little deep there. But as we're doing this, so now this becomes, hold on, it becomes really strong, right? And then so I can expand out. So since he's holding on, I have to go in one direction. I can't split him in half, but it goes like that, right? So this is that. But this is from a, I'm not in a structurally sound position. This is a little more structurally sound. This is not. This is a little more difficult, but I can still do it because I'm based.
Kind of a
So-
neutral bow stance?
What's that?
Do you feel like you're a neutral bow, or?
Okay. So he started touching some stuff. So I'm going to exaggerate movement so that you can see, but there's closing, and then there's open, right? So I'm doing it a little bit smaller. It's hard to see, but and it gets harder for me to do in that exaggerated movement because there's just no power in it. But you can't, unless I do it, you can't see it. So as I want to do this, right, I'm actually going like this. Well, you see my legs, and my pelvis will roll, and this closes, but this opens, right? So it becomes. I'm see, like you can feel it's weaving, right? And then I open, and this starts to rotate. So it goes. Right? And then I was talking with another group here. If I want to move in that direction, I'm not turning this hip. And this is something I need to work on because my hip still turns. If I turn this hip to move him, I'm bleeding out energy from the hip. This is all upper body rotation, and this is locked. Right? And you're using actually the muscle groups around your hip to do the rotation, and that's strong because you're using a different set of muscles to move him. But you have to know how to feel that in your solo practice. So I open up the refrigerator like that. I go like that, and right, and then I go through doors like that. And so then now when I touch people, it's just automatic. Make sense? Okay. So do this exercise where he's pulling some 6 directions, and then I just apply pressure. Give enough pressure for them to learn, right? Don't overpower him, right? He's never going to learn if you do that. Okay. Thank you. Try that.
So did he answer your question?
Was that it?
Yes, you did.
So what does the chin do? Align your spine?
My level now.
I got it. Here, let me and so, this is open or close? I felt myself forward. So as you add
So what does that do now?
I can feel that, yeah. Okay. Kind of like right here, but you have really going back, so, but.
Imagine in your case, like this, the skin is going up here, but your skin back here. You should be able to say what's a yardstick.
So does that align your energy?
This is
align with your spine so that you have
Closing where these points
I'm noticing how much I never knew how this affects your energy.
that feels really good.
So,
You feel me?
yeah, well, yes, but it's almost complimenting.
Yes. Yes.
Actually feels the energy
But
flow.
I'm ready.
I know that sounds here.
Right. And unless I'm pulling silk and doing all that stuff too, I won't be able to.
So it's projecting outward.
Right.
I'm envisioning, I was putting,
Now, just without rotating your hips.
How do you project your energy out or in one direction? So I'm wondering, are you like doing this opening, or do you actually just think about opening and relaxing?
right, so power, right. Yes.
This will stay here.
All right.
Feels really light.
Yeah, it does, it looks like.
Should we try to put it this way?
I've got a couple of
Very good.
And then that's why, I mean,
and everybody's
So, is this kind of a, is it, what part of Qigong is it? Is this kind of like Qigong? Or, you know, and so you practice this way?
Got on that side for you. I think so. Well, we talked to him a couple of days ago. He said actually I'd be going in and he was going to try to close early. He's trying to get someone trained
I'm
up.
right there, I'm not actually.
When I saw him this morning, so I think he'll probably be here between lunch.
Morning, Doctor. How you doing? Russell.
Because we're talking about energy.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's good, that's good.
But I've seen some stuff, like this is beyond what I've actually worked with this stuff before. So, wow. Yeah, I just felt myself just like falling.
You're dropping your energy. But you're actually breathing, you're using breathing to drop that, right? So you're actually breathing out, or the energy's flowing out, breathing out.
I didn't have
Cycling your energy.
chance to try to stop.
don't fight it. And I think what happens is you don't have
That's why he's talking about the pretty good work. That makes sense.
You're only pushing one at a time.
well, I don't think
So that's very interesting. And one of the ways a person explained it to me is your mind, because our mind is so much more powerful than we actually think they are. And a lot of people have been told I'm getting into crazy mystical stuff. I don't really think it is. I think it is our mind, our intent. As we think, I want to pick this up, and we send energy through our nerves and muscles to do it. You're doing that without actually doing this. So you're still thinking, you got to focus your energy going to I've never heard of it like that.
there's a layer of
don't go on the volume, your deal.
What people think of the palm oil price like that, but I think it's more of a light. Because you're recruiting I'm recruiting all those factors that I can.
So you're boosting your.
Because I was going back and down at the same time.
Pulling out. So he said, as long as you keep your hip forward, you don't.
People need to turn it off.
So you always have to be patient.
It's hard to turn off. We were talking about recruiting. I'm recruiting my fashion, but when I say
So this Nick, that felt like it was cutting off energy too.
right.
There, that flow of energy.
Well, so, yeah.
That's weird. But if I spread it out, then it's a whole.
I don't have to read it.
So you're stopping stopping energy there, and then you're stopping energy on the right here. So now you're stopping flow energy. So there's actually just stopping the flow, or am I going to draw energy when you do that?
Now, when you feel something, yeah, because there's a lot of
So and you're learning. You got to learn ABC. How do you do that? ABC.
You don't have it on, you look down, there you go.
So you bring the energy down, and then you're actually out here.
A little bit stronger.
A little bit of an offset, yeah.
This one, they should really like.
Yeah, you're gonna go.
Oh, yeah, he can
Look at that.
Okay. Okay.
And then I use the rest of the right?
Yeah.
So I've never done that. So that's taking their energy is
Energy.
well, I mean, that would probably one with the energy, so.
I
think it might be easier.
Well, you're about to when I step.
Yeah.
As soon as I step, I'm into that space that you just cannot.
Mind blowing, eh?
Yeah, I've done some energy stuff before, but I've never heard of that. Taking their energy. That's the same concept. So, but that is.
Focus is me. It's so cliche. Everything that they ever tell you, that's it.
As long as you.
How do you study it?
So
The focus
if you're not,
is concentrating.
there are other ways to do that. You're not actually touching the wrist. You just take energy if you're visioning for like your cars or your other sprites or anything. So how do you? Is it the same thing?
Yeah. And so,
You're saying
Okay, yeah, I felt that.
I'm focused on me.
Yeah, now you see.
he replaces my.
Takes you a minute to.
With this man. So I can't be here.
Oh, yeah, how you turn it off. Then you're redirecting. Yeah. Okay.
Breathe out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to focus on that. No, I don't know. I think it's me.
I turn it off.
But the reverse breathing wasn't part of this before. When I was first doing
I just turn it off.
it. But now it's just